Hey, what's up folks, this is Shaheel. So, iPhone 12 is everywhere. Like, wherever you look at the internet, it's iPhone 12. iPhone 12 is spreading faster than coronavirus. That was a bit of exaggeration, but you get the point. Everyone is talking about iPhone 12. So this video is going to take you through some of my thoughts and the introduction of iPhone 12, new features, what's new, what's boring, what's cool, what to know. That's this video. Keep watching. If you enjoy, subscribe to the channel. So before we get into iPhone 12, we just gotta take a moment to give Apple a round of applause. The way you shot the entire event was just amazing. Now the other thing, before we start talking about the iPhone 12 is, Apple also released something called the HomePod Mini. So if you know about HomePod, which was released I guess in 2018, the HomePod was like a smart speaker by Apple. So now they have released a new mini version. We're not going to be talking about that in detail in this video, but if you want to know, they have released a thing called HomePod Mini. Now, let's not waste any time. Let's get into iPhone 12. So, new this year on iPhone 12 is 6 main things. So, one being the new iPhone naming scheme and the lineup. The second thing, 5G supports for all the iPhones in this lineup. Third thing, the new design language, the new camera changes, the packing changes, and the same price point. Yes, the same price point. Let's see what are the changes in the new iPhone lineup. Like I just mentioned that the naming scheme has changed a bit. Let's see what's new. So, the iPhone 12 mini is their new iPhone. The small iPhone, I guess it's the modernized iPhone SE. I'd love to call it the iPhone 12 SE, if that makes any sense. But you get the point. It's iPhone 12 in a very small screen. We're looking at a 5.4 inch screen. The screen itself is smaller than the iPhone 8's body. So just gotta imagine how small that is. If you are someone who wants a very compact phone, like we're talking about the iPhone 8 or the iPhone SE size, just gotta throw it in your front pocket and then just gotta walk. You might be able to pick this up. You might want this as your phone. But then the main concern is battery life. See, if you want to make things small, it's cool. Being compact, like being able to reach from edge to edge on your phone, it's amazing, but you gotta compromise on battery life, or you gotta compromise on something. In this case, it's gonna be battery life. I just hope that Apple is gonna do their optimization thing on this too and make the battery life a bit bearable. But now, let's talk about the iPhone 12. Now, whatever I say about the iPhone 12, including the cameras and everything else, this applies to the iPhone 12 mini. So, all the new iPhones, including the mini, the iPhone 12, 12 Pro and Pro Max, everything uses the A14 Bionic chipset by Apple. Now, this is the first 5nm chipset in the world. Like, 5nm process, it's complicated, it's amazing. Apple done it, they're the first one in the world to do it. So I guess it's going to be more battery efficient. They told that they put in 11.8 billion transistors into the processor. Now obviously, no one used the processor, no one know the real life performance, but from what Apple said, it's amazing. Now the iPhone 12 maintains the same iPhone 11 screen size, the 6.1 inch, but though what is different is the body is now smaller. Because the iPhone 11 had severe noticeable bezels, the iPhone 12 doesn't have those bezels. The next major change would be all the phones now get OLED displays. So if you have an iPhone, the iPhone 11 specifically, it has an LCD display, 720p. Now I don't mind the 720p part, but a lot of people care about the LCD being not so color accurate like OLED, the blacks not being so deep like OLED. Now this time around, Apple decided, you know what, we're gonna give the same thing to every iPhone. So they crammed in 1080p display, 460 ppi, and OLED display on the new iPhone 12, the iPhone 12 mini, and then of course the Pro models. Apart from the display technology, the new screen is also brighter according to Apple. So the screen peak brightness must be amazing. The new colors would be very vibrant because it's a 2,000,000:1 contrast ratio. Like, it's massive. So this new phone comes in 5 different color schemes. white, black, the product red kind of style, the new navy blue, and green. Now let's talk about the Pro variants, like we can't miss that out, the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max. Let's talk about that. iPhone 12 Pro has a 6.1-inch display opposed to the 5.8-inch display on the iPhone 11 Pro. So the display is a bit big, so the phone must be a bit big too, like the same size as the iPhone 11 is what I'm guessing. And the iPhone 12 Pro Max is now 6.7-inch opposed to last year's 6.5-inch display. Now the Pro models come in 4 color variants. Those are gold, graphite, silver, and of course the Pacific blue is what they call for the blue. So let's talk about 5G now. So 5G was like a very appreciated, overrated almost feature in this event, because they went as far as to call someone from Verizon to talk about 5G in the event. So just so that we're on the same page, every new iPhone gets 5G support. So no matter which iPhone it is, it has 5G support, be it the 12 mini, the 12, the 12 Pro, Pro Max, whatever iPhone 12 you get, it has 5G support. Now they also introduced something called Smart Data Mode. So when the phone knows that it doesn't need the 5G speed, because 5G is very battery intense, it also switches the 5G to 4G so that you can save battery. But we don't know when it's going to switch, we don't know what it's going to do, but they said that it's going to change between 5G and LTE. Let's talk about the new design changes, because that's one of the most noticeable things in the new iPhone. So the new design changes include a new boxy style form factor like the iPhone 5S or the iPad Pro, the latest ones. It's appreciated, it's amazing. I like the new design actually. A lot of leaks and renders told us that it's going to be boxy, but I was always skeptical about it. But here we got a proof. The iPhone 12 is boxy after all. And now they introduced something known as ceramic shield glass. So is it glass? I don't even know if it's glass, but they mentioned this tech as ceramic shield. So this is the first time iPhone is getting a ceramic shield. It's 4 times more drop resistant. It's hopefully more scratch resistant, but they did not talk about scratch resistance. They talk more about drop resistance. I guess it's shatter proof. I don't know, but I think it's gonna be good. And then the new design changes to new MagSafe wireless connectors. So every time you use a wireless charger, there's this hassle of taking the wireless charger, aligning it with the coil. Now if you keep the phone here, it might not charge because the coil might be a bit more to the right. So you have to change and align the charger so that the coils line up. So the new iPhone has this feature called MagSafe, or rather an implementation MagSafe. So the magnets work with MagSafe accessories. So if you have a MagSafe wireless charger, you can take the MagSafe wireless charger, you can align it with the phone, and then it snaps. Just like that. Comes near the phone, snaps. That's it. You're done. You don't have to worry about it not being aligned with the coils. It's amazing. And also it charges with 15 watts of power, so you don't have to worry about the wireless charger being slow. But though it's amazing, like a wireless charger, it's good. Also talking about good stuff, you have other MagSafe accessories like a wallet which can attach to the back of the iPhone, so you can keep your credit card and maybe some currency inside it. And the main thing is that MagSafe is actually stackable. So if I have a case on the iPhone, it's not going to block MagSafe from working. So the iPhone is going to be able to pass the electricity to the MagSafe accessory, and then it snaps, it still works. Now the one thing to note here is that this does not replace Qi wireless charging. So if you have a normal wireless charger, you can also use that. If that's Qi certified, if that's using a Qi wireless charging coil, you can use that. Let's talk about the new camera setup, because I'm very much pumped for the camera setup too. So the iPhone 12 has a 12 megapixel ultra wide and a 12 megapixel wide. Now talking about the ultra wide, it's 13mm focal length, it's 120-degree field of view. I guess that it's wider than the iPhone 11, and the normal wide camera is actually a 26mm optically image stabilized lens. So it's 1.6 aperture. That's the main new point here. It's 1.6 aperture, so it's gonna be performing a bit more better than the other iPhones like the previous generations in low lights conditions. Now talking about the Pro and the Pro Max, they also have a new tech they have new camera, I can call it, or we'll talk about that. So the new Pro models have 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. That's the same ultra wide camera as the iPhone 12. The wide camera is also the same as the iPhone 12. The image stabilization has a difference. I'll be talking more on that later in the video. But we have a telephoto, that's the addition. Last year it was the same. We had the addition, and that's the telephoto lens. So the telephoto is an f2.0 and 52mm focal length, and it's also optically image stabilized. Now this has something called a LiDAR scanner. So LiDAR stands for light detection and ranging. It's LiDAR. So we saw that in the iPad Pro. The thing is, it's a 3D scanner, so it can scan the distance between objects. So the main selling point of the LiDAR scanner is that if you're in low light, if you're capturing a photo in the low light, the LiDAR can actually help the phone detect the distance between the phone and the subject so that it can autofocus better. I guess that's going to be the main selling point of LiDAR, that rather than AR and 3D stuff. Now, there are other improvements for all the iPhones, like night mode works on all the cameras now, including the front-facing camera. That's amazing. That's a very welcome change, I'd say. The diffusion on all cameras, and the Pro models have this thing called sensor shift technology. So I said that the OIS is a bit different in the iPhone. So how does a normal OIS work? So when the phone needs to stabilize something, it actually moves the lens of the camera so that it can compensate for the shake or vibration going on in the environment or in your hand. But in the iPhone, it's getting a bit more advanced. The lens is going to stay the same, at least I think that it's going to stay the same. Rather, the sensor is going to change in X and Y axis. So the sensor is going to shift left and right so that it can compensate for the shake. I think that it's going to be much better than OIS according to Apple. Again, we didn't check that out. We couldn't check that out because there was no hands-on and stuff. But still, I guess it's going to be great. And now they introduced this thing called Apple Pro RAW. So that's a new Pro RAW format for the iPhone. So it's available in the iPhone camera app. And the next major thing is that the new iPhones can record video in HDR. 10-bit Dolby Vision HDR recording on iPhone. Imagine on an iPhone, 10-bit Dolby Vision high dynamic range. That's amazing. Now it's possible because of the Apple A14 Bionic chipset. Its processing is amazing. So if you have to edit something for HDR, Dolby Vision HDR, you have to tune each frame so that it has high dynamic range. Now, the iPhone does that in real time. While it's recording a video, it can do that. Now, there are some changes in the packaging of the iPhone. So, talking about the packaging, there's no charger or headphone in the package. So, in the name of saving the environment, Apple has ditched the charger and the headphones in the box. So now, the main thing is that the box is going to be a lot sleek. Apple, we don't use the user guide, do we? So why not save paper? Now, let's talk about pricing. That's what everyone wants to know. Like I said, it's the same price like last year. So the iPhone 12 mini is $699. Last year, the iPhone 11 was $699. The iPhone 12 is now $799. The iPhone 12 Pro is $999. And the 12 Pro Max is now $1099. So the Pro models remain the same. But I guess the profit point being that they're not providing chargers or headphones in the box. So I guess they're making a bit more profit from that. So I have to share some of my thoughts on this new event. So I have my thoughts, my own thoughts, my honest thoughts. I'm going to be sharing that with you guys. First thing, the design looks stunning. The new colors are amazing. The new boxy form factor is amazing. I adore the iPhone. It's amazing, like the boxy form factor. I like it. The other thing, let's talk about 5G in iPhones or in smartphones in general. A lot of people are like, why do I need 5G? Like, why am I paying 5G? Like additional fees for 5G? Why would I ever need 5G in this day and age? The simple answer is you don't need 5G in this day and age. But 3 years or 4 years into the future, if you're going to be remaining using the same phone, you're going to need 5G. Now, let's talk about the no charger situation. So, see, this is classic Apple situation right here. Apple creates a problem, and then a few minutes later, they sell a solution to the same problem. We saw this on the iPhone 7 presentation in 2016. They create an issue, no headphone jack. Rather, it comes with an adapter, so you can't charge and use the headphone at the same time. 30 minutes into the presentation, they are now selling the solution to the same problem by selling AirPods. They're doing the same thing. The problem they created was there's no charger in the box. And the solution that they're selling is MagSafe. The MagSafe accessories, MagSafe case, MagSafe charging adapters, MagSafe docks. They create a problem. Few minutes into the presentation, they sell you the solution to the problems. It's classic Apple, they've done it before. But the important thing is, if we want a wireless future, a hassleless future, a no dongle future, everything needs to be wireless. So if they're taking this step towards doing that, in the near future, our world is going to be wireless. So the next thing I want to share is the new cameras. So the new cameras are amazing. I like 10-bit recording, like that's insane. An average person won't care. But for a videographer, like buying the iPhone for video, it's a welcome change. We're gonna need some changes to that, obviously. I don't think it's gonna be perfect, but since this is a software feature and all of that, I think it's gonna be upgrading in the future. Now that's all thanks to the A14 chip, because if it weren't for the A14 chip, it wouldn't be possible. But like, where's 120 Hz? Or at least where's 90 Hz? But I guess instead of the flex on like 5G, instead of talking a lot about 5G, why not include 120 Hz and why not talk a lot about ProMotion? I don't know, but I think the iOS optimization is going to be a cover up for that. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and press the bell icon so that you get notified every time we post an awesome new video. And until we meet the next time, goodbye.